What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to play city car driving with your HORI racing wheel Apex. Once you've connected the wheel, you want to start up Steam and you want to go to the big picture mode. Once there, you want to head to your settings and you want to activate the Xbox controller configuration, whatever, because the wheel is detected as an Xbox 360 controller. That way, when we fire up the game, everything will work. Okay, now that we are inside of CityCard, go over to your settings and want to go over to controls. Here you want to make sure that your control unit is set to a steering wheel and your setup settings is set to by default. Okay, now that you've done that, you want to go ahead and start setting up every single one of the inputs that you're going to be using. So for example, here I am changing the gas pedal to actually be using the gas pedal on the controller. You want to go ahead and do this for every single one of these inputs. There are some that you can leave as default because you're not really going to use them, but yeah. Before you do this, keep in mind that the L2 and R2 buttons mounted on the wheel itself are going to be copying the input from your gas and brake pedal. Now there's a way around this, and I'll show you right now. So after looking on the internet, I managed to find one comment on this YouTube video that shows you how to get around this problem. So I guess shout out to this guy. Now looking through the manual, you'll find that there is this quirky feature where you can actually change the input of the D-pad on the wheel itself to emulate the left stick or the right stick. If you look at the top of the wheel, you'll see this little switch that you can switch around and choose what you want the D-pad to emulate. Now you can use this to our advantage because this means that the right stick is not being used at all. And there's this feature on the wheel where we can actually remap some of the buttons. Now, what you want to do here is you want to basically switch the little switch up on the top of the wheel to RS, which basically is emulating the right stick. And then what you want to do is map the L to R2 and both the paddles to B buttons on the actual right stick. Now, to do this, it's quite simple. What you want to do is hold down on the assign button on the wheel for 3 seconds. Once you do that, the light will be green and you can go ahead and press the button that you want to map. Let's say R2, for example. Once you've done that, the green light will start to flicker and you can go ahead and press the button that you want that button to be mapped to. Basically, just press a button on the D-pad. Once you've done this, you'll see that a red light has turned on the wheel. This means that you have remapped the button successfully. Now you just have to repeat this process to map the 3 remaining buttons, that is L2 and both the paddles. Now you can map these however you want, and it really isn't going to be that big of a deal. You can map the R2 to the left of, no, to the right of the D-pad, or however you want. Just make sure that each of the individual buttons has a different input on the D-pad. Once you've done this, you can go back and switch your switch up top back to DP, which is going to restore the D-pad functionality, and you're basically ready to go, continuing the setup process to map each individual button to the function you want. Now, additionally to this, I would recommend to click on advanced settings, and here you'll see that you can change a couple of things like the dead zone and linearity. Now, what I recommend is to just copy the exact same settings that I have here on the screen, because what I've noticed is this is the best and most realistic feel that I have with the brake and the gas pedal. Now, you can also do this you can also copy this for the left and right turn of the wheel. I found that this is the best settings for me. You can change them, however, to whatever you like. And just remember that to be able to actually shift up and down, you need to enable this little button here, which is going to basically make it so you don't have to actually press the clutch, because the HORI racing wheel doesn't have a clutch. So just go ahead and press this button, and then you're going to be able to shift up and down with the paddles. Or if you would just want to play in automatic, then you can do that as well. Now at the bottom of the screen, you'll find a little switch. This basically means that if you have a blinker on and you turn that direction, the blinker will then turn off. Just a little small thing. Now I'll just show you a bit of gameplay, and you will see that whenever I turn the wheel, the actual wheel turns. When I press it on the D-pad, I change my view, and I can do all these different things. The blinkers work, the paddles work, and everything works. Oh, and just a quick little side note, I noticed that my paddles were switched around, and basically I think it's because when the game recognizes next gear as what you would think as previous gear, so just flip them around. Maybe that works. If it's fine for you, then okay, that's good. But basically what you want to do is have the right paddle shift up and the left paddle shift down. Just a good little side note. If you're wondering why I am reaching out to change gear, basically I have mapped each gear to one of the buttons on my external number pad to basically give me a relatively more realistic feel, which really isn't, but I just like it better than having to use the paddles. So yeah. And that's gonna be it for the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed, hope you managed to get it to work. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section. I'll be happy to respond to them. And yeah,